Did you know that Colorado ranks 5th lowest for residential property taxes? Or that all property taxes are local, meaning none of the tax money is going to the state? But where did this start? And why do we pay an annual tax on our homes? And where is all that money going? The history of property taxes in Colorado. To understand how we got where we are today, we first need to take a step back and go to the time of spandex malls and neon colors. The 80s. It's 1982. Blondie is topping the charts, and the Gallagher Amendment just passed, establishing guidelines for determining property value and assessment in the state. Gallagher stated that the amount of property taxes collected from homes statewide could never account for more than roughly 45% of total property tax collections statewide. The reason for this was to solve a fairness issue. Before Gallagher, you paid property taxes based on the value of the home when you bought it. Gallagher made it so the home's value was reassessed every 2 years. The 45% split was an add-on so we didn't become California. The other big thing that the Gallagher Amendment did was make it so all property had an assessment rate. An assessment rate makes it so that only a percentage of the property's value is subject to taxation. This means that you don't pay taxes on the entire value of your home, only a portion of it. For example, if you have a $500,000 home and the assessment rate is 6.7%, you only pay property taxes on $33,500 of the home's value. Remember, that assessed value gets multiplied by your locally approved mills. Some goes to the school district, some for the county, some for the city, and some for those special districts like libraries and fire protection districts. Over the years, because of Gallagher, the assessment rate fell from 21% all the way down to 7.15% decades later. Now in theory, this one-size-fits-all approach seems to be the most fair, but it ended up causing many problems for communities with less wealth, mainly rural Colorado. Because Gallagher capped total residential property in the state, it caused situations where one part of the state grew substantially, causing cuts to services in the other parts of the state. So voters repealed the Gallagher Amendment in 2020, and with Gallagher no longer driving down rates on homes, that rate would remain at 7.15% unless state legislators lowered it, which they did with a series of bills, dropping to 6.95% in 2021, 6.765% in 2022, and then 6.7% in 2023 and 2024. In addition, a part of the market value of homes was exempted from property taxes. For example, in 2023, the first $55,000 in market value was exempted. This gave the average homeowner in Colorado a $550 tax break. So rates have been cut, but if you haven't noticed those cuts, it's likely because of the value of your home has increased substantially. So where is all this money going? Property tax revenue supports public schools, county governments, special districts, municipal governments, and junior colleges. All of the revenue generated by property taxes stays within your county. Property taxes do not fund any state services. And it's true that all property taxes support local governments. No property taxes go to the state budget. But property taxes can impact the state budget through the school finance formula. We fund schools both with state and local dollars, the majority of which come from property taxes. This means if property taxes are reduced, the state will have to allocate more funds from the state resources to cover those school expenses. The growth in property taxes is the big reason why we've been able to fully fund K-12 after 15 years of funding below the level approved by voters in 2000. Here's an example. In 2018, property taxes kicked in $2.1 billion for schools, paying 36% of total school funding, with the state paying the other 64%. In 2024, property taxes generated $3.9 billion for schools, contributing 45% of school funding. Property tax cuts would threaten all those gains in funding we've made for our schools. If the state has to pay more for schools, it also squeezes out funding for everything else the state does, like roads and colleges and healthcare. So let me give you 3 takeaways. First, all property taxes are local. None go to the state. Second, if you're cutting property taxes, you're impacting firefighters, schools, healthcare, roads, and higher education. And third, politicians aren't raising your rates. It's the value of your property that's increasing. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the episode to learn all about property taxes. If you like our instructional videos, check out our video library at coloradofiscal.org.